Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said he would convene his security cabinet later this week, while the civilian death toll in Gaza continues to rise. The Netherlands announced it would purchase U.S. military equipment to send to Ukraine, making it the first NATO country to do so.
A zoo in Denmark is asking for pet owners to donate small animals as food for its predators.
Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said he would convene his security cabinet later this week to discuss how Israel's military would meet its goals in Gaza. Earlier, Netanyahu announced he wanted to fully occupy the Strip, including launching military operations in areas where remaining hostages were held. His statement followed the release of new videos of emancipated hostages held in Gaza and signifies a significant change in tone of the government. Netanyahu said the video had strengthened his resolve to topple Hamas, and the Israeli leader has seemingly sidelined a pursuit to reach a negotiated agreement instead. The footage of the hostages was released as humanitarian organizations and international experts continue to warn of a worst-case scenario of famine unfolding in the enclave. In the last few hours, health officials reported dozens of Palestinians had yet again been killed while seeking aid. Meanwhile, pallets of aid were parachuted over Gaza, as seen from Deir al-Bala on Tuesday. Several countries resorted to the airdrops in response to the lack of food and growing famine in the Strip, but the UN has warned for the dangers of parachute drops and says aid delivery by trucks is far more effective.
The Trump administration has reversed course on Monday after it faced backlash for tying access to Federal Emergency Management Agency funds to stance on Israel boycotts. The U.S. Department of Homeland Security added a clause in FEMA's terms and conditions stipulating that states must not support the boycotting of Israel or Israeli companies, nor sever commercial ties to be eligible for funding. Close to $2 billion, crucial for search and rescue operations, staff salaries, equipment and resources would be forfeited if states don't comply. On Monday, the U.S. federal agency quietly removed that clause and in a post on X denied its existence. The Trump administration came under fire after U.S. media reported on the clause's sudden appearance as Washington continues to crack down on criticism of Israel.
At least 5 people have been killed and 13 injured after Russian strikes hit the Kharkiv and Zaporizhzhia regions. A strike targeting the city of Lazova in the Kharkiv region killed 1 person and hit critical infrastructure, including high-rise buildings and a residential area, the city's mayor said. He called it the most intense attack on the city since Russia's full-scale invasion 4 years ago. Russia has continued strikes against Ukraine as US President Donald Trump has ramped up pressure against Moscow to agree to a ceasefire deal. The US leader has set a deadline to the 8th of August for Russia to agree to a truce or face additional tariffs.
The Netherlands announced it would contribute $500 million to purchase U.S. military equipment to send to Ukraine, making it the first NATO country to use the alliance's new initiative. Last month, U.S. President Donald Trump said that the U.S. would continue to supply weapons to Kyiv, but that these would be funded by European allies as well as Canada. NATO boss Mark Rutte thanked allies for ensuring that Ukraine remains equipped to continue to defend itself against Russia. He now hopes that other NATO allies will soon follow suit as well. U.S. Ambassador to NATO Matt Whitaker also welcomed the Dutch announcement. He said that by buying the weapons, allies are helping Ukraine defend itself and are pressuring Russia, while simultaneously boosting jobs in the U.S. And Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky expressed his gratitude for Amsterdam leading the way in this new effort.
Portugal is facing its second heat wave of the summer, with some regions reaching up to 41 degrees. In Braga, sales of fans are booming.
Amanhã vendi 2, porque realmente as pessoas procuram, porque está muito calor. Nem ventoinha, nem aqueles ventiladores pequeninos que dá para ar quente e ar frio. Isso também esgotou, porque até isso vieram pedir.
Several regions in the north of Portugal are once again under a red heat alert following extreme temperatures.
Novas temperaturas voltam a recuperar e devemos ter novamente avisos que deverão chegar novamente, aviso vermelho na região norte.
Although the country is only on alert until Thursday, the high temperatures are expected to persist.
Até meados de agosto, até 12, 13, 14 de agosto, devemos ter estas temperaturas bastante elevadas.
Portugal also remains on high alert due to the risk of fires. An 85-year-old man died from heat stroke in Spain on Monday as the country experiences another brutal summer heat wave. It follows one of the deadliest months for heat-related issues in Spain, with 1,060 deaths caused by high temperatures in July. That's a 57% increase from 1 year earlier and a 54.5% increase compared to July 2023. So far this year, over 3,200 deaths in Spain are attributable to high temperatures, far exceeding last year's total of around 2,500. 9 regions are currently under alert for extreme temperatures, which are expected to reach up to 42 degrees in some places. In Barcelona, Malaga and Valencia, temperatures will remain at a notably lower level, ranging from 30 to 33 degrees. Spain's state meteorological agency expects the heat wave to last at least until next Sunday.
Brazil's Supreme Court has placed former President Jair Bolsonaro under house arrest for violating precautionary measures on political messaging. The measures barred Bolsonaro from producing and sharing content, including via social media, which the court says he violated. The top Brazilian court says the 70-year-old ex-president breached the order when he spoke to supporters via his lawmaker's sons at a protest on Sunday. In a now-deleted video posted on his son Senator Flavio Bolsonaro's social media pages, the former president addressed supporters in Copacabana where a protest in his defense was taking place. Bolsonaro's legal team said they plan to appeal the ruling, stating that saying "Good afternoon, Copacabana," "Good afternoon, my Brazil" does not constitute a violation. Justice Alexandre de Moraes, who presides over Bolsonaro's case, says it was such an obvious violation that the post was removed to hide legal transgression. Bolsonaro has been on trial since 2022 and is being investigated for allegedly masterminding a coup plot following his narrow defeat to President Lula da Silva in the general elections. His case has been in the spotlight after U.S. President Donald Trump came out as a vocal supporter of his, demanding an end to what he called a witch hunt case. The U.S. has taken measures against Brazil in support of Bolsonaro, with the State Department announcing sanctions on Justice de Moraes over misuse of power and human rights abuse. More recently, Trump tied his new 50% tariff rate on Brazilian exports to Washington directly to Bolsonaro's judicial situation. The new ruling comes just a month after Bolsonaro was ordered to wear an ankle monitor and submit to a curfew and communications ban.
A zoo in Denmark has divided public opinion by asking pet owners for donations of small animals to feed its predators. Aalborg Zoo is asking specifically for guinea pigs, rabbits, chickens, and even horses as possible donations. It says it's trying to mimic the natural food chain of predators housed in the zoo for the sake of animal welfare. The practice, the zoo says, is nothing new.
Som en storm, fordi det er jo ikke, der er intet nyt i det. Vi har altid gjort det. Og vi ser det også meget naturligt at gøre det på den her måde. Og det er lige præcis fordi, at der er nogen, der har forvekslet vores mindre husdyr med ordet kæledyr. Altså, og kæledyr, det er jo ikke det, vi tager ind. Altså, det er jo sjældent, der kommer nogen med kæledyr. Og vi tager jo heller ikke hunde og katte ind, altså, som der er nogen, der tror.
The zoo's practice, however, has gained international media attention after it was publicized on a Facebook post. Some social media users called the appeal a sick invention. Others stood up for the practice, with one user saying they donated a horse a few years ago. The zoo says that the animals donated are gently euthanized before being used as fodder. This way, nothing goes to waste, it said in the post.
Вас підвезти? Так, взагалі тут всі казали, що я вже ніколи в житті не поїду. Як ти можеш їхати, тебе нема рук, тебе немає. Як то таке можливо? Ні. Сказав, що
Розумій, складність реабілітації залежить від пацієнта в першу чергу. Та, якщо ми візьмемо, за приклад, Миколу, який є дуже мотивований чоловік, і він хоче досягнути багато чого, він цього просто бере і досягає, бо він цього хоче.
Микола звернувся, сказав, чи міг би ти мені допомогти. Микола так само з інженерним складом розуму каже, я би то сам зробив, але не можу. Ми двоє сіли, подумали, як то краще зробити, і разом зробили. Це коксові приймачі для Миколи, куди він запихає свою культю. Це таке адаптивне, там де він гальмує і газує. Ну і ось тут це такі клямки, якими він відкриває двері і так само закриває.